let's talk about the new Godzilla film, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Hey, here's what's weird about the title for this movie. Didn't we just review another film last week that had the word Empire in the title?
Yeah.
So we've got Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, Ghostbusters, The Frozen Empire.
Yeah, and then we reviewed a movie with Godzilla in it not too long ago.
So there you go.
And we have Planet of the Apes to look forward to. So
let me answer real quickly on the thumbnail. Is Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire better than Godzilla -1? The quick answer is one word, no. Not even close. This is part of the legendary series where they've taken the popular Toho monster, Godzilla, created a new series. The first film was 2014's Godzilla, directed by Gareth Edwards, followed up by Kong Skull Island. And then we had Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Godzilla versus Kong. And now here we are with Godzilla X Kong. It's a buddy monster movie that I'll just say, compared to Godzilla -1, which is such a serious-minded, beautiful film with so much to say about humanity, rallying together towards a cause without the help of the government, to defeat Godzilla and rebuild Japan. An incredibly smart and emotional film to what is a cartoon with an incredibly dumb plot where you will lose IQ points from watching it. This is in the realm of, and by the way, there was a cartoon in the 70s, was 70s or 80s, a Godzilla cartoon that I watched. It was completely stupid. They had a baby Godzilla in it, if many recall, called Godzuki. This is a simple plot where Kong is now faced with a new threat, a group of now other apes in a tribe led by a character. I guess he's just known as Scar because he has a scarred face, and he's able to control another monster that breathes ice. This other monster is effectively the slave of these apes, giving them the power to defeat any villain. And Kong is just trying to survive in the hollow earth. He needs to recruit Godzilla, who is going off defeating titans all over. Somehow Godzilla's become the hero of Earth now, even though I'm looking, the property damage and death toll alone of what Godzilla does just by like casually sauntering through a city has got to be ridiculous. I don't see how you could view Godzilla as a hero. He's kind of a force of nature that destroys everything in his path, but he is defeating other worse monsters. In the beginning of the film, he defeats a monster that looks like a crab mixed with an octopus. They're running out of ideas for good monsters. And I have so many nitpicks about this film. We'll get to it. I also, part of me, the 8-year-old in me that quit Cub Scouts because of Godzilla week at the movies, is still like, oh, it's kind of cool. There are lots of monsters fighting right now. But the CG just, there's a weird disconnect with the CG. That's why I compare it to a cartoon. Obviously, this leads to a battle in where Kong and Godzilla now must team up to defeat the larger threat of this tribe of apes that have a powerful weapon in the form of a ice-breathing monster. That's effectively the story. Look, as a Godzilla fan, I'll see good Godzilla movies and I'll see bad Godzilla movies. And this is a bad Godzilla movie, in my opinion. I don't know that it's the worst. I really was disappointed by King of the Monsters, even though it brought in Mothra and King Ghidorah, which I love. King Ghidorah might be my second favorite kaiju. But it's just dumb. It's a cartoon for kids. The kid in me thought it was fun, but it's a terrible movie. I mean, we're talking about like between a 4 and a 5. Just it's just whatever. But I can't say like there's, look, I try to look for the good in some things. especially when it's something I really already am predisposed to like. But this was just dumb. If you look at it as a cartoon, fine. But compared to Godzilla -1, no comparison. Alan, what did you think of Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire?
Yeah, absolutely. It's why I hate Fast and Furious. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
And it's a cartoon where you split half of the movie with humans and half of it with the cartoon monsters. And I don't know. I for some reason I would much rather had seen people dressed in suits crushing cardboard cities than this. I don't know why. It just look, and when you look at how CG has progressed over the decades, why does current CG feel like a regression?
It does. It looks less real.
Look, the best CG movie ever made was Jurassic Park, and I feign to think of a movie that comes close to that blending of practical and CG as Jurassic Park did, and I just this is I just want more, and I feel like practical has. I don't think this is an argument, but practical is better than CG, and this is the case. The story, on the other hand, is horrible in the sense that this story is pure narrative, meaning the characters move from point A to point B to point C to point D, and the movie's over. In fact, halfway in the movie, they outline, in order for Godzilla and Kong to win, they have to do this, this, and this. And guess what happens? Kong and Godzilla do this, this, and this, and they win. So they've effectively spoiled the movie halfway through because there was no drama. Classic Pixar did it the best, where Woody and the gang, they said, okay, in order to save Buzz, we got to do this, this, and this, and at every step something goes wrong. And I remember Toy Story 3 when all the toys were in the incinerator, looking at each other as if they're really gonna die.
Yes.
Thinking to myself, oh my God, they're gonna kill Woody and Buzz. I mean, that's how great the storytelling is, because you don't know what the next step is going to be. And this one just lays it out halfway through the film. And so there's no surprise at all in this film. It's just, monsters fighting. That's all this movie is monsters fighting. Let me ask you one question. Let me ask you a question.
Please.
Describe the character of Rebecca Hall, Dr. I forget her name. Dr. Andrews. Describe the basics of the character.
Annoying white lady.
Yes. Okay. Now her daughter, Gia. Describe
Pocahontas.
Yeah. Exactly. They're there for the role. A smart woman, a mute child who has empathy for monsters. That's the sum total of these characters. The character development in this movie is horrendous. The Dan Stevens character was annoying. Trapper.
Is his name Trapper?
That opening number where he's lip syncing a song. Was that supposed to be cool?
And then they play these ancient rock songs.
Yeah,
like he's a bat. They even make a joke about him dressing like Ace Ventura. He dresses like Ace Ventura, and then they reference Ace Ventura in the movie. There's so many nitpicks for this of bad levels of bad.
Let me mention one more thing.
Please,
Brian Tyree Henry. What they should have done was they should have just watched hours of Nerdrotic and made that the character.
That would have been better. Shout out to Nerdrotic and his show Forbidden Frontiers on Sunday nights. Brian Tyree Henry plays this annoying character named Bernie Hayes, who seems to know everything. There's this scene in the third act where he's describing what needs to happen, and he just lays out what's going to happen in the third act. They need to do this, and Mothra has to do this to do that, so that this happens and this. How does he know that? It's so stupid. It's video game stupid. I'm talking about modern bad video games. That's a whole other. That's a whole other thing we don't want to go down.
And then there's the constant. Oh, that was convenient. It was there. I mean, right. Look, it's in the trailer. The Transformer hand. Wow, it was
Bumblebee.
Where did they get that from?
It's Bumblebee, basically. He smashed Bumblebee, put it on because he kind of injured his hand, so they give him this hand thing.
But the thing is, it just happened to be lying around. I mean, wow, that was very convenient.
there's so many layers of bad in this. A couple of one thing I have to point out, and I want to go to the chat here. How did Godzilla get so fit? Godzilla is this lumbering. If Godzilla really existed, he would be slow moving because of the sheer weight. He would move slow. I like slow zombies. Okay. I like slow Godzilla, and I like Godzilla that looks like a man in a suit. Quick aside, if you go to the official Godzilla Toho YouTube channel, they are making a series of digital shorts. So they're all completely 100% digital, but they look like and move like there is a man in the suit. So it has the feeling of the old 60s, 70s Godzilla while still being 100% digital. Fantastic shorts there.
Godzilla -1 had that.
Godzilla -1 had that feel. There's one with Gigan that is amazing. So check out the Godzilla official Toho channel for those series of shorts, which are fantastic.
And what does Godzilla eat? What does he eat?
He eats nuclear energy. That's dumb, which is how they explain the fact that he goes pink, which is ridiculous. I was hoping there would be a surprise baby Godzilla. Didn't get it, unfortunately. But and then the way Godzilla moves, it's like Godzilla got fit. He's running. He like jumps and attacks things like this big. It defies logic, and it looks bad. It objectively looks stupid. Although, to be fair, in the old Godzilla movies in the 60s, Godzilla did this move where he just kind of goes up on his legs and just goes across. Yeah. You can find an animated GIF of that, like where he's just.
But no, he's on his tail. He's not on his legs, right?
Yeah, he just sort of goes that way.
Yeah, slides on his tail.
And it's dumb. That was funny, and those movies you don't take as seriously. Yeah. But come on, you pointed out earlier that when we saw Jurassic Park in the early 90s, who was not blown away by that? Who did not get chills thinking, I feel like I'm seeing a real dinosaur interact with people? The stirring, of course, John Williams' score. None of that is here. CG is getting worse, not better. And when you look at things like Dune and Dune Part 1 and 2, when you look at things like Godzilla -1, it's not as if Godzilla -1 with 35 people working on the effects. This probably had, again, another 1,000 middle management bloat, all that stuff. How is it that these other filmmakers and movies have such beautiful CGI that makes you feel that it's real? When in Godzilla -1, when they're on the boat being chased by a Godzilla, which is right behind you, it feels so real. They're on the water. Yes, it's reminiscent of Jaws, which is a good thing. He's not ripping it off. It's an
when you told me about how they did the girl on a train, and then I saw clips of it, I was just blown away. Because I was thinking they did exactly what Mission Impossible did, and no, they didn't. And it looks so real. It looks
so real. Like how are these smaller movies, or let's say lower budgeted movies, able to achieve effects that look better than movies with these bloated budgets? Look, it's a fail for me. Yes, I went to see it because I'll go see every Godzilla movie. You know what? I might even get the cup. Yeah, I got the cup. Why? It has Godzilla on it.
That's a waste of money.
I might need to drink later. What do you mean it's a waste of money? Of course it's a waste.
I mean, look at that thing. I mean,
yes, it's cheap.
That's why I didn't buy it, because it looked like that.
Fine. I bought it. It came with a soda, and I wanted soda. And so can I have a soda with Godzilla or not? So this is what a sucker I am with this stuff. I can't recommend it. I can't recommend it. It's, again, for me, like a 4 or 5 out of 10. And like -1 is a 9.5 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. Yeah. And the best Godzilla movie we may have ever seen.
Go see Primevals. I mean, if you're going to watch a movie like this, go support Primevals.
Go support Primevals for sure. Alan, any final thoughts before we go to the chat?
Yeah, I'm calling it the regression of Hollywood. Its storytelling and effects just doesn't seem to be evolving in any way, and this is a grand example of that.